Hello everybody, welcome to ScottyDGaming. I'm Scotty D and today is my review of A Plague Tale: Innocence. Donnez-moi l'intro, mon ami. A Plague Tale is a third-person stealth action-adventure that takes approximately 12 hours to complete. The game is set in 1343 France during a time of plague and inquisition. You play as Amicia, a noble's daughter who, after a pretty brutal intro, is left to look after herself and her younger brother Hyuga. Not only are you trying to survive against the hordes of rats that have emerged, but also the Inquisition, who have been sent to chase your family down. There's a lot of unanswered questions after the intro, and you learn more as you dive deeper into the story, but some things are left to the player to interpret. I enjoyed this approach because it kept me thinking up different theories and explanations to what is causing the seemingly supernatural events. The core gameplay is navigating through linear levels using a combination of stealth and puzzle solving. Both of these mechanics are rather basic and serve more to add to the tense atmosphere rather than to pose a challenge to the player. This isn't a bad thing, however, as I thought they were just challenging enough so that it didn't slow down the pace and risk you losing sight of the story. Your character Amicia is a vulnerable girl, and her only tool is a trusty slingshot which she can use to knock things down or distract enemies using rocks. She isn't a warrior, and one hit from an enemy will see you having to restart from very well placed and frequent checkpoints. As you progress, you'll gain access to new projectiles such as the ability to set fire to or extinguish objects, and to permanently dispatch of enemies instead of having to sneak by them. The upgrades and tools are very well spaced throughout the game, so that there's always a new element to learn and new ways to solve puzzles or tackle obstacles that you face right up until the very end. Although Amicia can die very easily, as you unlock more things the dynamics of the game changes. You slowly change from being the stealthy scared hunted to becoming the hunter as your killing ability improves. I fixed all of the wrongs the Inquisition caused on my family with extreme vengeance by murdering every god that stood in my way. It felt amazing. But where A Plague Tale really shines is its characters. All of them are very well written, making you really care or hate them. Amicia is a brilliant protagonist, and most importantly, she's believable. Her performance was sincere, drawing you into her story. Hyuga, her brother, is also very well done, so much so that I grew to hate him. He's a 5-year-old sheltered child that never learns. He's so naive and keeps running away from Amicia, putting both of them in grave danger. After the second or third time running away, I was hoping he would just die a horrific death so that Amicia could save herself. This isn't a bad remark on the game, it's actually a compliment on how the characters can make you feel so strongly towards them. There are some beautiful and breathtaking landscapes that you'll be exploring, which are immediately contrasted with dark and oppressive ones. The colours of the levels also directly mirror how Amicia is feeling, which is a nice little touch. When she's happy, everything is bright, highly saturated and beautiful, but when she's scared and in danger, the levels are more darker and muted. It's cleverly done and really helps to convey the atmosphere to the player. Then there's the soundtrack. It's phenomenal. The strings do hit something in the soul that make you feel the emotions of the characters without words, whether it's the melancholy, solemn or happy events taking place. Only after playing the game did I find out that the composer, Olivier Derivière, also did the soundtrack for Vampire, which was also great. The level of detail that they've put into A Plague Tale has to be mentioned, because every forest, town and interior looks real. It looks like you are there in France. Even the size of the pig's bollocks are to be respected. There's a small upgrade and crafting system that allows you to improve your sling using components that you find throughout your journey. It's something for the player to work towards rather than something essential, as the upgrades are mainly quality of life, such as increased carrying capacity, which I would highly recommend so you don't have to leave stuff behind. You can upgrade your sling at a workbench which are found at certain checkpoints, and you can craft different types of ammo for your sling anywhere you like using the Radial Menu. It's a good, non-intrusive system that allows you to keep things moving at a good pace rather than having to spend a lot of time figuring out. This leads me onto my first point of confusion. Early on, you're going to come across a boss battle with a highly armoured knight. You get a small tutorial stating that you can dodge enemy attacks and then have to knock the armour off the boss before you can hurt him. Fair enough. After beating him, I thought similar bosses would be a lot easier if I buy the upgrades to have faster firing and reloading sling, so I prioritised these upgrades. He's the only boss in the game apart from the last boss. Are you kidding me? You never have to do this again. It's like they forgot about the bosses until the very end. Not only that, I only needed to use the dodge one more time in the whole game. Oh, and there's a upgrade that allows you to dodge quietly, which I thought was hilarious, seeing as you only have to dodge when an enemy knows you're there. Strange. I can hear people in the back shouting, "Use the dodge on the regular enemies." Well, you can't. Not reliably, because once an enemy gets close, you're locked into the death cutscene where you get murdered. I mean, it's cinematic and it looks great, but I might have preferred to be able to dodge and stay alive instead, but maybe that's just me. There are other mechanics in the game that never get made full use of, like the ability to tell Hyuga to stay put while you go and do something. You never need to do this outside of the tutorial. There's one point in the game where it prompts you to do this, but after doing it, you soon realise that leaving a little shit for 20 seconds causes them to cry and make noise, getting everyone killed. It's much easier to just take them with you. There are lots of great mechanics in the game and the foundations are there, but you never need to utilise them, which is a shame because the developers have worked creating something good that never gets used. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed A Plague Tale. The story is captivating and you always want to play that little bit more just to see how things pan out. In fact, I'm a bit sad that it's over, but I do look forward to similar games from the developer. If you like a good story with mystery and aren't too bothered about a challenge, then I can highly recommend this to you. However, if you hate France, children and rats, then you might want to give this one a miss.